Welcome back to our Tech Trends Update. The past couple of weeks have been especially active, with first quarter results released by many of the largest players in the technology sector. 5 members of the so-called Magnificent Seven reported earnings during the final week of April, representing a combined market capitalization of roughly $15 trillion. Overall, performance was strong from Alphabet, Apple, and Amazon, while investors reacted negatively to higher capital spending plans announced by Microsoft and Meta. Ahead of the earnings reports, we also saw some historic leadership news. Apple announced that Tim Cook will step down as CEO after 15 years at the helm of the company. During his tenure, the stock rose more than 1,000%, with the market value growing from roughly $350 billion to around $4 trillion. The new CEO, John Ternus, will have a big challenge ahead of him. We also learned last month that Netflix founder Reed Hastings will be stepping down from the board of the streaming giant he helped create. Let's dig a little deeper into the major earnings results. Google delivered some of the most impressive numbers this quarter, with Google Cloud revenue jumping 63% and its backlog expanding by more than 400% compared to last year. Growth in the core search segment remained solid as well, rising 19%. Altogether, these results highlight that Google's AI strategy is gaining momentum and firing on all cylinders. Next, we saw a wave of announcements from Amazon over the past month. This began with the annual shareholder letter from CEO Andy Jassy, which highlighted strong long-term growth opportunities within the AWS cloud business and helped lift investor sentiment. That was followed by the announcement of a massive $100 billion cloud computing partnership with Anthropic. Finally, earnings results fell short of the market's elevated expectations for the quarter, but forward guidance was encouraging. AWS backlog nearly doubled from last year, a figure that does not yet include the newly announced Anthropic agreement, which is expected to further boost future demand. Both Alphabet and Amazon are on our top picks report and large holdings in the AMS equity. We also had results from Apple that reassured investors as their guidance was above estimates and the new CEO laid out plans to invest more in the future. We then saw disappointing results from Microsoft, driven by higher capital spending plans. Investors also remain cautious about the firm's heavy exposure to OpenAI, particularly as Azure appears to be losing market share to rivals like Google and Amazon. In a similar vein, Meta's results also fell short of expectations. The firm announced increased capital expenditures due to rising component costs, including higher semiconductor memory prices, while investors continue to question the clarity and return profile of its AI strategy. The surge in demand for cloud computing, alongside rising capital spending plans, is providing a powerful tailwind across the broader supply chain. This includes semiconductors, power infrastructure, cooling and HVAC systems, and several adjacent sectors. The impact is extending beyond the technology ecosystem, supporting both the US and global economies, particularly in regions like Taiwan and South Korea, where critical parts of the supply chain are based. In aggregate, large U.S. firms are expected to spend more than $700 billion by 2026, with total investment potentially reaching a staggering $1 trillion in 2027, up sharply from roughly $100 billion just a few years ago. We also had lots of buzz with Anthropic's Mythos model due to cybersecurity concerns that the models can exploit. In healthcare, there was encouraging news as the FDA approved a new therapy for a genetic condition that causes hearing loss, using a treatment that delivers a healthy copy of the affected gene. At the same time, the pharmaceutical sector has been active in 2026, with several smaller deal announcements, including Eli Lilly expanding its portfolio through a handful of targeted additions this month. Looking ahead, the next big event will be Nvidia's earnings on May 20th, which will also coincide with Google's annual I/O Developer Conference on May 19th, 20th, where the company should announce new AI tools. Looking out a bit, we will get Apple's annual WWDC conference, where investors will be looking for updates on Apple's AI strategy, as well as any hints regarding the foldable iPhone. Thanks for joining us.
This discussion is intended for informational purposes only. This is not investment research or investment advice, and no recommendation or financial advice is being given. This discussion does not take into account individual investment objectives, financial condition, or investor needs. The views and opinions expressed in this discussion may differ from the views and opinions of other departments or divisions of Itaú and its affiliates.